What's happening, everybody? Hal and I are having a good night here in the studio. It's a Friday night in Los Angeles, and where are we? In the studio, doing some work. Actually, we're in here doing a little experimenting and having a little fun, trying to dial in some different ways to get some ambience or, space around the kit without having actual room mics, right? Trying to think of ways that, whether it's a big room or small room, things that can help you add some depth to your drum sound. And one of the things we've been playing around with is running a mic back through an amp in a different room. And we've been using this SM57 that's pointed straight at the ceiling, and it's running back over into the ISO booth into a Marshall amplifier with a little distortion on it and being mic'd up with a Heil PR30. Now, we tried a few different places, and you kind of have to play with this in your room, but we liked this spot that is right in front of the kit. And honestly, I didn't even measure this out from the overheads. We just kind of moved it around until it sounded good. And that's where we left it. It's about, chest high, because this way it's a little above the cymbals so they don't start getting in the mic too much. And it also keeps some of the mid-range and the high mids of the kick drum out of it too, so it doesn't start knocking a little too much. But the snare and all the top end, it's actually really cool. You just blend that thing in a little bit and it's room with character, but it doesn't sound like a big room. So if you were you could be at home, even in your rehearsal space or your bedroom or garage, and if you have access to an amplifier, go borrow one from a buddy or whatever and just put it in a different room and just stick a mic on it and get some tones. So it's kind of cool. So we'll check this out. Let's walk through the setup real quick. I want to show you what we have with the amplifier, and then we'll have Hal play a little bit. Cool? Sure. All right, let's go take a look at the amp. All right, to get a little separation from the amplifier, we decided to stick it over here in the ISO booth so we could, we put the mic on it, we're just getting the amp and not any extra room. And we decided to use the JCM 2000 because it sounds cool, but we also use this Marshall, this Frontman 212, which is, just a cheap amp, and it even sounded cool, and even the reverb on it kind of gave it some character. But ultimately, we just like what the Marshall did, so we decided to stay with it. Now, to make this work, I'm simply plugging the 57, cable comes out, and it's going into this cheap line transformer. Plug it in, boom, right, there we go, right into the amp, and you're done. And we're in. Now, with miking it, just like with guitars, you got to kind of move the mic around to find a spot that is cool. We got the Heil PR30, which is bitchin'. Y'all know I love that microphone. And I ended up, the cone is actually about right here in the center, and I ended up with it way to the outside just to kind of soften it up and round it up. And then you can EQ to taste how you want it depending on what your music is. You can make it really aggressive. You could put it on the high gain channel and really get it crunchy. You could roll a bunch of bass in, whatever, just whatever your music needs. We went for something that kind of is just middle of the road here. I have rolled a little the treble out in the mid-range just so we don't have too much cymbal, and I am leaving the bass in, and this thing has a deep knob button on it, which just adds a little bottom, and it sounds pretty bitchin'. But you gotta do whatever is right for yours. The fun thing with this is it's gonna give you space around the kit with some character, which is kind of cool. You blend it in just a little bit and it has a bitchin' sound. So let's go have Hal demo for us and check out what it sounds like. pretty good.